For our next flight, we'll be doing that canoe and the lake skipper. Both are free on the Got Friends website. Never a Nixie clock, but I've built and rebuilt several multimeters and power supplies and use them as their numerical display. I need a good tube tester and O-scope. Could you imagine building a car sound system with tube amps? The sound you could get would be amazing. I've got 2 gnarly scars on my right hand from the ham radio tube amp that confirms that. How does that happen? Does the tube explode? Granted, it wouldn't last long with current road condition. True. Yeah, that's probably why they don't use the tube amps in the cars. Because yeah, if it's fragile like that, you like hit a pothole or a curb, just break your speaker. All right, Tim's prime time is almost there to the mountaintop we're going to be landing on. About 3200 plate volts DC. Man, I'm not an electrician, but that sounds like a lot of power. Oh, hey, since I'm talking to a bunch of PC, a lot of people that know PC building, when I go and I make changes to my computer, right? Like let's say, like for example, earlier I moved my radiator from the top of the case to the front of the case, so I could pair it up with the front fans for a push-pull. When I do anything in my computer, like let's say I'm going to remove the graphics card or whatever, what I've been doing is I unplug it, I leave the power supply switch on, and then I hold the power button for like 10 seconds or whatever to try to like clear power out. Is that enough? I always ground myself, like every time I do anything, like before I touch something in the computer again, I always touch the metal desk to ground myself. I always stand on top of a piece of cardboard. I have my hands clean. But like, is there anything else I need to do? Like, am I clearing the power out enough by just hitting that power button with the switch on? Because I'm just like, because I know that those power supplies can hold some power, and I know you have to do like it is possible to get shocked from your computer if you do it wrong. And I wanted to make sure, since you guys kind of know. I've got 2 gnarly scars on my right. Oh, let's see, I lasted that one. I lucked out and I have a grumpy old ham neighbor who had about 60 years experience, keep me from doing stuff like that. Retired Motorola engineer and World War II radio operator. Dang, yeah, that's nice. Hey Raven, welcome in. How's it going? Cheers. What kind of flying do you like to do in the flight simulator? I mostly fly the bush flying and stuff. Ground yourself to the case. Okay, yep, definitely want to ground to the case. Yeah, extremely high voltage and relatively low amperage, but it can kill you dead if you handle it wrong. Exactly, yeah. And I'm definitely not an electrician, right? But I think what I've heard is like, it's not the voltage that necessarily kills you, but the amperage. Or like, it doesn't take many amps to kill you. I don't know. I'm nervous about all sorts of electric stuff. So yeah, you were thinking correctly. 10 seconds is a bit much, but you were doing things right. Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Grim. How many seconds does it take about then? Because if I don't need to do like 10 seconds, I'll do, like 2 or 3, whatever is required. Stand on a rubber mat. I don't have a rubber mat, but I don't have a rubber mat. The cardboard, I think, works okay. That's excessive, says Twisted. I had my PC on the carpet for like a year and with a bad PSU. A bad PC, yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm sure I'm like overthinking it. But yeah, I just want to make sure I'm doing it right, you know. Had the opportunity to know many things over the years, sadly most of the OG hams are gone now. Yeah, it is fun to learn stuff. I definitely do enjoy learning new things. I'm grumpy and old. Oh, no. No worries. Well, cheers and welcome in. Like a year with bad PC. The real threat is you. Static electricity. You don't want to touch your GPU and shock it. Always touch ground before touch any components. Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, I always touch my desk before touching the PC. But that is good to know. We've landed on the mountaintop here by Tim's Prime Time. Let's come to a parking spot here. Ooh. And then we'll get back in the air in a minute once everybody... If you want to land, go for it. Otherwise, keep on heading towards the airport. And we'll get back in the air here in a minute or two. Kind of enjoy the view here for a little bit. But yeah, okay, so that's good to know. That the real threat really is me breaking the computer, not me getting shocked by the computer. As long as I like unplug it and everything. That's surprising. Piston and turboprop flights. About 23 days will be a whole new experience. Oh, I know, right? Yeah, 23 days. I'm so excited. Grim says 2 seconds. Raven says 5 seconds. Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you. Sounds good. I will definitely save myself some time and not hold it for a full 10. Here's Raptor. And the CT182T. Gonna go meet Norcali down there by the, where he's hanging out. Oh yeah, let me show you this on the map too. Rip Comanche? Yeah, right. Alright, he's just going on a little side quest. So this is where we're at right now. This is how this mountain is spelled. Now we're going to be flying through this and heading towards our next airport. All right, let's get rolling. East we go. All right, night y'all, working the AM. All right, sounds good, Thompson. Thanks for hanging out. Cheers. And we'll see you around. See you in the next one. And yeah, hopefully tomorrow is good. 5 seconds is good enough. 3,000 volts across the heart will kill you no matter the amperage. That sounds right. That's not too surprising, I guess. The one who helped me build my first guitar amp was a little Fender Tweed clone. Was gifted my son old. I don't know how to pronounce that. Yasu radios to get me started. Nice. Oh, that's cool. Rip Comanche. It's all gone bad. I know, right? Yeah, I need to, I still need to learn how to fly the Comanche. I like the buildings all like tucked away here in the hills. I started off with an FP2227R FLDX 400, FRDX 400. And he wrestled up some tower sections from his old barn and got me in the air. That's crazy. It's a really pretty view, like the mountains. Yeah, this is great. I'm gonna quickly fly over this one. Hey, Twisted was able to join us. I'm going to write you down. We got Twisted in the Kit Fox. Yeah, I was just thinking again about the liveries and stuff. And Doka is making a double ender livery for us for the stream. So once that's all ready, you'll all be able to get a custom livery that's for the stream. You need a livery. What do you think about 4K fish scales? Well, I currently don't need a livery for this one. Because I know Adoka's making a double ender livery for me right now. But I fly the Wilga a lot as well. The Wilga is probably my second, and I don't have anybody making any liveries for that one. I like the idea of fish scales. I think a plane that looks like a fish would be really cool. Or it could be for the double ender too. I mean, I want, anything that you want to make, like you don't have to, but anything you make would be super awesome, and I'll gladly try it out and put it out there for people to download. But yeah, totally up to you. I think 4K fish scale sounds pretty cool. I think if anything, probably like a kind of like a rainbow trout would look really cool. You know, a rainbow trout with like the rainbow fish scales like going down the side. Wilga bogs down my PC. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, double ender is good because it kind of looks like a fish as it is a little bit with like its shape. The Great Rainbow Trout livery. Hey, that's a good name. I like that. Sorry, Fu, we're nerding out on radios and chat. Hey, no worries. It's all good. I don't know a whole lot about radios, but I like learning different things. And it's kind of a useful skill too, you know, like, I don't know, if, let's say there's a natural disaster and like the power goes out, or I guess you kind of need power, but I don't know, let's say cell phone signals are down, or cell towers are down. If you can get like old radio running, I mean, that, you know, that's good to have. It's a very fulfilling hobby, but don't do it. It's addictive and expensive. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, I could see how it could get pretty expensive. So does that mean you have your own like radio call sign then? Because don't you need a don't you need to be registered to be able to do radio calls over certain frequencies or something like that? Like you have your own call sign? My most recent livery? Oh, let me here, let me check this out. Let me see if I can copy this without like leaving OBS. I can run a ham radio set up easily on solar and deep cycle batteries indefinitely. Wow. Well, there you go. Yeah, now you're set up for not having to worry about that. Yeah, that's cool. So it's like, you know, it's a hobby, but it's also, you know, it has its uses. Oh, nice. Yeah, it's a cool livery there. Twisted. Yeah, I like the dark purple. It looks good. Depends on what frequencies you want to use, but yeah, certain frequencies require a license through the FCC. Gotcha. Look at all these clouds. It's nice to have clouds and not pollution. I mean, we're probably going into some, but love the clouds. Oh yeah, and now that I have a PC, I can finally buy that game, Outbreak. The storm chasing game. The one where you chase down tornadoes and stuff. I can finally get that game now. I'm definitely going to be buying that and streaming it at some point. Because I'm super into severe weather stuff. Twisted says, I've always been interested in ham, but never done it. We used to listen live on a scanner. Nice. Yeah, I bet those scanners are kind of cool too. Brandog says, I highly recommend doing it. Just know up front it can be expensive if you let it. Start with CB radio, much cheaper and no license to get started. I've talked all over the world on relatively inexpensive CB rigs. Okay. That's good advice there. I've used my US license for about 21 years now. Says Terrible Guitarist. I've also had a few overseas ones traveling for work. Nice, that's cool. Yeah, who knew there'd be so many people that were radio enthusiasts hanging out in this one area. All right, we're like 40 miles-ish away from our third airport, which is Victor Oscar Mike Delta. Hey, sorry, I missed the notification because I'm trying to balance OBS and the stream manager for the ads. But thank you, Raven, for the follow. That was 21 minutes ago. But I appreciate that. Thank you. And sorry I missed that. Tristan said I got my first scanner from one grandpa's old GFs. He was bimp like he actually was a real OG. There you go. So he had a scanner, a radio scanner. I guess whatever to get into it, right? Aviation and radio communications have always had an overlap, I've noticed. Lots of my radio friends have an interest in aviation as well. I was just thinking that too. Just as I was putting that, or, talking about how many radio enthusiasts there are, I was like, I bet you there's a decent amount of overlap. And yeah, you just said it. Like, I know there's a pretty, not as much, but there's still definitely some overlap in interest in aviation and weather or meteorology. Yeah, no radio. I mean, I could see that, right? You're always, if you're a real pilot, you're always doing radio stuff. If you're like me, you turn off the radio so you don't have to ever do it because you don't know how it works. But yeah, no, that's a good point. There's definitely a lot of overlap. It's weird to have my computer actually blowing out warm air now. It makes me wonder, where was all that warm air going before? I mean, it should have been blowing the hot air out through the top of the case, but I don't know. Now it's good, I guess. Now, is there any downside of having the radiator on the front of the case blowing air in to the case? Is there anything bad with blowing warm air over the graphics card? Because it just passes over the graphics card and then hits another fan and goes out. I think I'm overthinking it. But it seems better this way. Having the push-pull configuration on the fans on the radiator and then a fan in the back. I have 2 more fans in the mail on the way that I'm going to mount to the top too. So I'm going to have 6 fans on the front, 1 in the back, and 2 up top for a total of 9 fans. My CFI taught me to fly, and I taught him about ham radios. Nice, that's cool. Yeah, definitely fair trade. One of my favorite radios I own is an old U.S. naval radio that was abroad in ship that was used with flight operations. It still works after about 50 years, built like a tank. Nice. Yeah, built to actually last. A few degrees warmer for your GPU. Okay, yeah, only a few degrees warmer, but I think overall though, I mean, you know, when 2 of the 3 fans for the radiator are blowing the air out, but one of them isn't going anywhere, I mean, that's just not as efficient, I don't think. They hardly ever put out warm air, so the fact that it's doing it now is good. Plus, the GPU has fans, and those hardly ever turn on, so once those turn on, it'll just be more. Always want more air in than blowing out. Okay, yeah. Before it was 3 in and 4 out. So technically it was negative pressure, but it's a fractal case, right? So it's like, it's fairly open, but still technically negative pressure. But now it's 6 fans in, 1 fan out. So when it's 6 fans in, 3 out, we'll still be in positive pressure. But yeah, I definitely want more fans in than out. Now you've learned what to look for in the case for ventilation next time. Exactly, yeah. And I'm really glad Sajikane and all you guys helped me pick this together, because you know, the fractal case is a really good one. I didn't know anything about PC cases or anything, but yeah, I really like the one that Saja helped me find. Yeah, it was like after playing PC Building Simulator, I started looking at my PC more, and I was like, huh, why did I mount that to the top when only 2 of the fans actually like push air through? The other one was just up against the top. All right, let me write down who's our next airport too. We have Terrible Guitarist, Raptor, Tim's Prime Time, Brown Dog, a couple other names behind that. Twisted. Some cases are just for looks, even if they don't look good and have barely any ventilation. Oh, true. Yeah, I've like, before I built my PC too, I was watching a lot of YouTube videos about like pre-built computers that you can buy and how they like show them and how they're, you know, poorly built and what's wrong with them. So I learned about like how to not build a computer, and I was surprised at how many cases there were that were like, it's just a tiny little crack between like 2 pieces of plastic on the front, and they call that ventilation. Or there's one with a bunch of fans, but there's no vents on the other side of the fans, so their fan's just spinning in the case, not really doing anything. Yeah, it's crazy. In some of those classes too, it's like mostly glass, but there's no ventilation in it when it's just all glass. Some are just for looks, even though they don't look good. Barely any ventilation. When I was working in Afghanistan, I sweet talked the camp commandant to give me permission to operate my ham radio there. My trade was setting up and testing sessions for his commando kids and himself. Oh, nice, that's fun. Mostly the pre-builds? Yeah, it's definitely the pre-builds that are all surprising, because like, you know, pre-builds, I feel like, I mean, obviously, you know, sometimes it's a good way to, I guess it's not a good way to get hardware, but pre-built is like, I don't know how to build PCs, so I'm just gonna buy one and it's gonna work. But then you open it up and it's like, You know, they put the RAM in slots 1 and 2, not 1 and 3. And like, there's barely any fans, barely any ventilation. And like, the cable management is all weird. And like, sometimes the NVMe drive isn't like screwed down properly. And like, it's crazy. The weird things that happen in pre-builds. Like, do they just think nobody's gonna open them up and check them out? It's all about negative pressure. Exactly, yeah. Yeah, because that's that'll keep the dust out, right? Wait, isn't it positive pressure when you have more fans going in? You want positive pressure, right? Because negative pressure then like pulls extra dust into the case, or positive pressure, you're not likely to, or you're less likely to get dust in the case.